Hello, colleagues. Hi. Hello. We are about to start. I think that we will start like in 3 minutes, so you can take your seats and wait for the press conference to begin. Hello, everyone. Good evening. We welcome you at the Ukraine Pavilion for the press conference of the Minister of Environment of Ukraine, Ms. Світлана Гринчук. And today here we are joined by our Ukrainian international friends, the ambassador of Ukraine in Azerbaijan, Yuri Gusev, and the community of Ukrainians in Baku, here they are, and also, of course, our dear media representatives. First of all, before we start the press conference, I would like to ask you for the moment of silence to honor the fallen soldiers and innocent victims whose lives were cut because of the Russian aggression in Ukraine. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, everyone. Before we begin, I would like you to see the short video which shows the damage caused to the environment of Ukraine by the war of aggression from Russia.
33 months of work. 33 months of Russians' ecocide on Ukrainian territory. When the Russians blow up the Kakhovka dam, the first thought was, did they really do it? Second thought was, what's next? We ask ourselves, what's next every time the enemy mines the Black Sea and our land? When smoke from fires covers the horizon, when our protected areas and the whole environment are being destroyed, we ask what's next? And will this ecological disaster become irreversible? These questions are not rhetorical. There is an answer. Despite the war, we are demining territories. We are rebuilding our cities. We are restoring ecosystems. We declared to achieve climate neutrality during the next 25 years. We adopted the 10 years climate policy strategy and the framework climate law. We introduced climate innovations. We are looking every time for non-standard sustainable solutions. Our response to attacks on our energy infrastructure is the development of renewable energy. We digitize, we decarbonize, remaining a reliable partner in a global fight against climate change. And we know how to ensure environmental safety. This is exactly what the 8th point of Ukrainian peace formula is about. This is our effective mechanism, our protection, and guarantees that the whole world needs. Almost 60 countries are already working with us on its implementation, but more efforts are needed. So that the crime of ecocide will not be repeated, so that the one who destroys the environment will answer for this crime.
Thank you so much. And before the presentation of the minister starts, I would like to make a short announcement for media. So the presentation will be followed by the Q&A session. So all the questions you may ask after the presentation. And now my honor to pass the floor to the Minister of Environment of Ukraine, Світлана. The floor is yours.
Thank you and good evening, dear colleagues, friends, and I'm happy to welcome you in our Ukrainian pavilion. It's 30 years then Ukraine tried to have our own pavilion and to demonstrate situation in Ukraine, what we have now in Ukraine. And during these 1,000 days, we have really a lot of destructions, a lot of damages. And today, just before this press conference, we had very interesting and fruitful discussion with our partners regarding the peace formula, point A of environmental security. And we discussed that natural during this war is like silent victim, but we need to do everything what we can for not to have the situation like we have in Ukraine in the future, to prevent this terrible situation, to prevent the natural and ecological damages, and to ensure the ecological safety and security is very important, not just for Ukraine, but also with the global community, with international community. Because it's very weird to discuss here during the COP the future, to discuss the CO2 reduction, to discuss the new technologies, and at the same time, Ukrainians stayed without electricity, because just 2 days ago, Russians attacks massively the energy infrastructure and destroyed a lot of our thermal generation, hydropower generation, substation, which allow us to transmit electricity. And yesterday, for example, one of the biggest city of Ukraine, Odessa, stayed without electricity in total blackout. A lot of people stayed without the electricity today. More than 5 or 6 million people, we use the restriction schemes, and it's really weird to be here and to discuss the climate neutrality and future of the international community. And at the same time, we have this very, very unjust situation. It's not situation because it's not just situation, because before the winter, when we already started the heating season, it's very very scared for all Ukrainians to stay without heat, to stay without electricity, and we expected very cold weather, and it could be humanitarian catastrophe. And this humanitarian catastrophe, it's caused the injustice, unprovoked war and aggression from Russian Federation. And I want to show you just few figures. It's weird, not just what Ukrainians stayed without electricity during these days when we discussed the climate neutrality, new technology implementing, etc., etc. It's also weird that here we try to, with all countries, we try to find the right solutions, how to reduce CO2, how to reduce CO2 emissions, how to implement the new technologies, how to achieve the unity goal. But at the same time, we have a lot of explosions in Ukraine. We have forest fires every day. And for this moment, we have more than 180 million tons of CO2 emission additional. It's additional CO2 emissions. Yes, we try to continue reduce CO2 emissions. We try to implement our climate policy, but at the same time, we have everyday explosions. We have everyday forest fires. We have everyday contamination of our water and land resources. And we have additional and additional pollution. We have additional and additional emissions. And we need to understand that we need to solve somehow the situation like we have in Ukraine if we want to achieve the global climate goals. Next, please. But I don't know it's next or not. It's regarding the energy. We discussed that we we try to develop and to change our energy system. We really did a lot, but Russians destroyed it, almost all our energy system, and it's a miracle. It's a magic that today we have electricity, not every day, but we still have, and we try to repair. We try to repair every day. We lost capacities, generation capacities, transmission capacities, but we also lost the people every day, and additional of 5 energy workers killed 2 days ago. But we still believe that we will restore our energy system. We just need to change approaches, and we worked with our partners. We try to decentralize our energy system. We try to make them more resilient and more flexible. We try to build additional small-scale renewables. We try to build additional small-scale gas power turbines installations, because we try to use any chances, any opportunities, and to survive and to build new energy system, more sustainable, more resilient, more flexible. It will help us to continue fighting, and it will help us to achieve the victory in the future. But I also want to speak few words about the Ukrainian forests, because you all know that next COP in Brazil will be about the forests. And for me, it's very, very personal issue, the forest and situation with forest now, because I grew up in the village in Carpathian forest and Carpathian mountains with a unique forest and ecosystem. And for me, forest is not just about the absorption of CO2 or about the green places. For me, it's a happy childhood, and I think that for a lot of people it's the same memories. But during this 1,000 days of war, injustice war, unprovoked war, we lost, and the war destroyed more than 3 million hectares of Ukrainian forests. 3 million. It's today we have a lot of meetings with my colleague ministers from different countries, and when I mentioned this number, 3 million hectares of forests, some my colleagues told me that, oh, our country is like 2 million hectares, or all our forests is 2 million hectares. In Ukraine, we lost these resources. A lot of our forests mined, and the fire forest we have almost every day because of mines, because of new fires, because of explosions and rockets and missiles attacks. And we lost more than 1.7 million tons of CO2, like absorption capacity. And it's also difficult to speak about the development, but we try not just to speak about development during the war and despite the war. We try to restore our forests, and during these 3 years we have planted 555 million trees on an area of more than 75,000 hectares. And we continue doing it every day, because we understand that we need to wait for the end of war. We need to start restoration process and rebuilding process of our nature, of our ecosystem, our economy now, and do it every day. What is also important, few words about the critical minerals, critical materials, which is also, this topic is also very important, not just for Ukraine, but for all European countries, for all our partners who supported Ukraine. And in Ukraine, we have 21 of the 30 most important mineral resources, what we need, what international community needs for green transition, and we need to think together with partners how to protect these critical minerals and how to establish and how to ensure the sustainable use of these critical minerals and critical materials in the future for Ukrainian security, for European security, and for global security. About the mines, I already mentioned about the mines, and it's also terrible numbers that the area of Ukraine affected by mines is 174,000 quadric kilometer. In fact, it is 2 times the size of Azerbaijan, for example. And we could imagine that these territories we could use, and we could back to the using maybe in few decades. It will be not tomorrow, and demining process will take years and tens of years. It's very difficult issue. We already started this process, and I want to thank our partners for the demining platform which we organized together, and also I want to give the special thanks to Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan also provided a lot of support for demining Ukrainian territories and for energy restoration and resilience, and all these efforts give us the we are thinking that everything will be we are still optimistic, because we understand that for support from our partners we could achieve the victory, we could achieve our goals, including climate goals, environmental goals, and we try to do it. What I want to say in addition, it's about the water resources, about the Kakhovka hydroelectric power station. You know that 2 years ago, Russia destroyed the Kakhovka dam, and we lost a lot of water resources. We have a lot of damages. We lost people, we lost resources, we lost buildings, natural ecosystem, very important for international community, natural ecosystems. And we estimated the amount to almost 14 billions of US dollars like losses because of Kakhovka Dam. But we have also very difficult situation in frontline regions with water supply. Just a few weeks ago, I visited frontline regions, especially Mykolaiv, Kherson, and also Kharkiv and Odessa, and people now stayed not just without electricity, but also with stable water supply. And we try to manage this situation, to build new water supply channels, but it's also very difficult to do it in this very short period of time. But we try to survive and to manage this situation. But colleagues, I have a lot of information. I have a lot what to speak about with you. But if you have some questions, maybe very specific questions, some what you are interesting, I will be happy to respond. Please.
Yeah, please name yourself, the media you represent, and the question.
Hi, it's Adam Vaughan here from the Times of London. Thank you for that. I had 2 questions. You mentioned about the damage to energy infrastructure. I wondered what has the war done to how dirty your electricity supply is. Is it higher carbon because wind turbines have been damaged, you have more gas power running? And the second question was a more sort of personal one. Is you talked about how forests are personal to you. sorry, that make you feel that not just your country is being invaded by Russia, but they're trashing your natural world, your rivers, your forests? How does that make you feel?
I heard about the energy supply, electricity supply, and how we will pass the winter. Yes, it's a very difficult question, because you know that since October 2022, Russia tried to destroy completely our energy structure, and we had, I think, more than 20 massive attacks with more than 150 missiles and drones and rockets, etc. And during the first wave of these massive attacks in 2022-2023, they destroyed more than 50% of our generation capacities. But because of war, we have reduction of consumption, and we passed the winter, yes, with some restrictions, but we did it. And we, during the 8-9 months, we rebuilt it a lot, we fixed a lot. And we passed the last winter without any restrictions. But since the March of this year, Russia restarted their massive attacks against energy infrastructure. And during 9 massive attacks, they destroyed more than additional 9 gigawatt of our capacities. For example, we need for winter, our peak consumption is 18-20 gigawatts, and they destroyed 9. We fixed the minimum of capacities which we need for the winter, but 2 days ago, Russia again attacks and again destroyed the energy capacities, destroyed the transmission system. It's very difficult now to say how we will fix and what we can fix, because we need just to clean the debris, because they attacked with missiles and with rockets, with ballistic and heavy missiles, and we need to clean the debris. And after this, we will understand what we can fix and what we will have for the winter. But also, and we have the big support from European Union, and European countries already increased the import capacity for Ukraine, and we plan to have the import gap something around 2.2 gigawatts of capacities. It's really will help us to cover our demand. But we don't have any information about the future attacks. We hope that we could save our energy system, because without the electricity, without the heat, it will be very difficult to stay in Ukraine and for all Ukrainians. And we could have additional wave of refugees to European countries and other countries. Situation is very difficult, I will be honest, but we try to manage. We tried in Ukraine. We have support from our international partners, but situation is really difficult now. And about the forest, yes?
Thank you. Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, sorry. The second question was, can you hear me okay?
Sure.
Should I try this? Any better? Yeah. The second question was, it's bad enough that your country's been invaded by Russia, but you're also having to see your natural world destroyed. I wondered how it makes you feel on a personal level. How
Як ви себе почуваєте після, ви сказали, що це дуже особисто по лісам, як ви себе почуваєте після Russian invasion, що Росія стільки зруйнувала лісів і інших природних ресурсів?
My personal feeling.
Це дуже особисто.
Yes, as I mentioned before, for me it's very personal because I grew up in the in forests very close to mountains, and for me it's pain. It's my personal pain every day that Russians continue destroying our forests, and I understand that it's not the end, and we will have additional destructions, and we will lose additional forest resources, and not just forests. It's very difficult also to see the water contamination, to see the explosions of missiles, of rockets, of drones, and to see this additional emissions of pollutions and CO2. At the same time, we need to continue developing our policy, developing our economy, developing our country, because we could not to stop. We don't have any other chances to win and to change the situation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm Rasmus Svaneborg from Denmark, journalist at the Danish news agency. You mentioned that there is approximately 100 billions of CO2 emissions coming from this war. Can you be more specific? What are the sources to that emission? Is it from the bombs or the of the forests? And secondly, do you ever think about what's the point of trying to re-establish the nature and environment when another attack can happen tomorrow? Do you ever feel like just waiting it out and then start over when the war someday hopefully will be over?
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for the questions, for your questions. It's very bad sound here. About your first question regarding the 180 millions of millions of CO2 reductions, CO2 emissions in addition. This number includes the emissions from explosions of rockets, bombs, drones, etc. From the Russians also attacked our energy infrastructure, and we have a lot of big destructions and a lot of emissions from this from this big explosions and big destructions. And also we lost the as I mentioned before, 3 million of forests, and we understand that at one moment we have additional emissions from the fires, yes, but also we lost this absorption potential of these forests. And also regarding the Kakhovka dam destructions, we also calculated, we use the UNFCCC and IPCC methodologies, and we try to use the international approaches and methodologies for calculating these additional emissions. Regarding your second question about if we have reason to rebuild, and we have additional destructions, and we need to rebuild again and again. It's not easy. Sometimes we are very upset, that's true, and especially regarding the energy infrastructure, because every half of year we have additional destructions and additional losses. And you know that I was the Deputy Minister of Energy, and for me it's also very personally, because during my my mission in the Ministry of Energy, we lost and rebuilt twice the energy system, and it's not easy. I personally visited a lot of objects, a lot of energy plants and destructions, and it was a really heroic efforts from Ukrainian people, Ukrainian energy workers, and we we did really amazing job. And after this, we have additional distractions, but we understand that what can help us to survive without these actions. Yes, we repeat every time, and it's not easy, but we need to do it because we want to live in our country. We want to save our country, and we need to repair and rebuild every day.
Hello, I'm Mona Hambreus from the Swedish radio. In the film that was shown just before you came on stage, it was said that when energy infrastructure is destroyed, we replace it with renewables. Could you tell us a little bit more about that, please?
Yes, sure. And we understand that Russia helped us with phase out of coal, because they destroyed almost all our thermal generation, and but it's transition, but it's not fair, not just transition. And now we understand that we need to build more decentralized, more resilient energy system, and the best solution here is small-scale renewables. And we established a lot of programs together with our partners, support programs from government, from our partners, for business, for people. We supported the installation of additional solar panels, wind, with inventors, with batteries, together with batteries, and we try to save electricity and to give to people the opportunity to have their own energy generation, because when we don't have electricity from the centralized, from the united system, power system, we need to give the opportunity for people to have their own generation and to have this from solar, from wind, from people. We have now very big interest. All Ukrainians try to have their own solar panels, their own batteries and energy storages, and all Ukrainians during very short period of time become very energy efficient, become very with very sustainable mind, with very sustainable solutions. First, without electricity, we used a lot of generators. Now we continue using generators because it helps us to survive, but we have more and more every day the sustainable solutions like small-scale renewables. And also we continue to build the big renewables plant. And for example, this summer, it was also very weird for us because before the summer, Russians attacked the thermal generation, attacked the hydropower generation sometimes, but this summer they first time attacked the big solar plants, more than 300 megawatts. We lost. We tried to repair. And we repair more than 200 of these losses. But they understand that we use renewables for our energy independence, and they try to attack. And we decided to build very distributed small-scale renewables, and also gas turbines and gas pistons installations. It's also a very good solution for the energy resilience. And we continue this work, and we have big support from the partners. And it helps us to survive. That's true. Even now, when we have additional distractions, but we already installed the gas turbines, gas pistons in cities, in regions. We have a lot of generators, but we try to use not to use diesel. We try to use gas. We try to find and to install additional sustainable solution, because for us, it's also very important not to come back to we want to continue our development, and we want to continue implementing the sustainable solution, because we have, like all European countries, we have the goal to achieve the climate neutrality and to restore, to rebuild, to build new energy system, new economy with very sustainable and new solution is our goal, and we understand that we have just this way.
Sure. Okay. Anthony Lane from Dow Jones Newswire. After the war is over, is it your hope, is it your expectation that ecologists from around the world will want to come to Ukraine to help you restore nature? And is there a way that private sector money can be channeled into nature restoration after the war? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We don't need to wait when war will stop. We already started this process, and we already started this process together with our partners from different countries, including the private sector. We have a lot of cases when private business come to Ukraine, and we already have, for example, during the last 2 years, we built a new wind plant together with our Danish partners. We built the wind station, very powerful, more than 150 megawatts. 150 megawatts. It's the biggest wind farm in Ukraine. Just 100 kilometers to front line. And we continue this work. We have a lot of interests from different countries, from different partners in energy sector, in agriculture sector, renewable energy. I think it's a top priority for our partners. And we really have the opportunity to build and to implement new projects. Nuclear energy also, we have a lot of interest from different countries, and we already started the implementation of big nuclear projects, and also we have a lot of MOUs, and we started the cooperation with different companies regarding the SMRs. We see that we have very big potential on nuclear. It's clean energy, it's low carbon energy, and now we see during the war that nuclear helped us to survive, because Russians really destroyed it, a lot of our thermal hydro generation, and nuclear is support us and help us to survive, and also renewables, and we will focus on this two directions, but also we need to implement, and we need to establish additional like balancing energy approaches, energy instruments like gas turbines, gas pistons, very maneuverable, and we could balance our energy system. But we have very good potential in different areas, and we have big interest from different private companies and government companies, and we already started. I think that after war we have more and more interest, because we need to restore, and it's a big place for restoration and for new projects implementation.
Thank you. Thank you. Any more questions? You're the first.
Hi, my name is Alexander, and I'm a journalist of Gazeta Wyborcza from Poland. And speaking of this green recovery, do you feel that this is going to strengthen your ties with European countries in the future and ending up Ukraine joining the European Union?
Yes, sure. Thank you very much for the question. And we understand that the recovery must to be green, because we don't have another choices. And because of our European way, or European integration, because of our already adopted goals, and we need to achieve, and we want to achieve. And because it's reasonable to build new economy with new technologies, with low carbon solutions, with sustainable solutions. And we have here the big support of our international partners, not just European partners, but not just European countries, but from different international partners, and also international organizations and financial institutions, and they will implement and they will support projects in Ukraine, but just with green and climate solutions. Without this, they will not finance and they will not provide investments to Ukraine.
Thank you. Any more questions? Sorry, here you are.
Thank you. Sean Tandon with AFP. I wanted to ask you, there were reports a couple of months ago that Ukraine and Russia were discussing the possibility of not striking energy sites on either side. Obviously, that hasn't happened. Russia's attacking Ukrainian energy. Is that something that could still be in the cards, or something that you would see as a favorable outcome? And more broadly, here at the at COP29, are there any actions that could be taken that would actually help the cause of Ukraine, if it's on fossil fuels, etc.? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. About the negotiation between Ukraine and Russia, I didn't heard, especially about the stopping the attacks, energy infrastructure, because 2 days ago we had the new massive attacks. I don't have any information about it. Regarding the COP29 and our expectation, what we plan to achieve, like in other countries and partners, for us focus is climate finance, and we understand that climate finance, climate projects with climate component could help us to not just to achieve the climate neutrality and other goals, but to support the restoration of Ukraine economy, to restoration of our energy, of our infrastructure, of our buildings, and we will use all the opportunities to attract the investments. And I think that eligibility to be part of this, to be country who could use the climate finance, because we really need this during the war and after these terrible destructions. We will discuss with in other countries and parties this element. And also for us is very important not to allow Russia to give the information, to legitimize the information about the emissions from Crimea and Donetsk and Lugansk, because Russia submitted every time since 2016. They submitted the information about the emissions, the data about the emissions from Crimea and occupied territory, Donetsk and Lugansk. And we stopped every time this attempt, and we are working with in other parties, with partners, and we need to stop this illegal illegal situation with Russia inventory and transparency.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Jana Karasova from the Czech radio, and sorry, you can't see me. You were talking about the demining, but could you also talk a little bit about the contamination, and if you are struggling with contamination of soil and land, and how you prioritize which territories are already like under the contamination? And then you also mentioned that you come from Carpathian Mountains, and like during the last years, for many families, it's just kind of like the only place when they can go for holidays because of the restrictions, who can leave or who cannot leave Ukraine. So in certain places, it's actually putting an extra pressure on the Carpathian Mountains ecosystems. Do you have some programs that are handling this potential destruction of some ecosystems or some places in the Carpathian Mountains? Thank you very much.
Regarding the first question about the contamination, not just soil and land, because all our occupied and frontline territories, frontline lands were contaminated, but heavy metals, the products from the explosions and attacks, and we need to. Now it's very difficult to start the cleaning these territories because the war continue and we have every day's attack and we have battlefield and it's not to start this process, but we are developing the special plan together with partners how to clean the soil, how to clean the land from the debris, from the heavy metals, from the explosion products, and it will be the joint program together with the demining program. And now we just need to have this physical possibility to start do it. And also a few words about contamination of water resources, because not just soil suffered because of war, because of explosions, and water resources. For example, two months ago, we have situation with I think the most cleanest rivers in Ukraine, Seym and Desna. The Russia contaminated from the sugar factory from the Russian territory our rivers, and all biodiversity in these rivers were dead. And it was very difficult also and dangerous situation for water supply, especially for Kyiv, because it was very close to water supply stations. And we were very worried that it could achieve the water supply station and we will not have the possibility to provide clean water to more than 4 million people. And we have these cases every day, unfortunately, with soil, with water, with air. And yes, we try to develop plans to build the platforms, to have the support from partners, to start thinking how we will clean the territory of Ukraine. But for started doing this, we need to stop the war. We need to win, and we need to stop the war. We need to stop the military actions. And second questions I didn't hear. Sorry.
Okay, Carpathian Mountains, because of the increased tourism or families going to holidays on some places, some of the ecosystems are having increased pressure. So do you try to also somehow protect or manage the people who are increasingly coming to the mountains, as is often the only chance for the holidays of many families?
Yes, we have a lot of national protected parks in the mountains, and they have some very different regime of visiting these territories, very close territories without any recreation places, etc. But also we have, and we develop the recreation places in forests, in mountains, and you know, for Ukrainians, we don't have holidays because since 2022, I didn't have any, not holidays, but also weekends. It's not easy. And a lot of Ukrainians have the same situation. We understand that we have war, we need to fight. And it's our first priority. After that, we will have holidays, etc. I couldn't note that it's increased a lot the visiting of mountains or parks. We want to increase because we understand that Ukrainians need to rest, need to change the picture, to change their mental station. It's also very important. But now we are very like how to say собранные, put together, yes, and we need to continue fighting. It's not about holiday or rest.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm Zumrut. Okay, I'm Zumrut Pashkin, a freelance journalist. My question is that in your speech, you said that the environment, the nature is a silent victim of this war. So my question is that could Russia be persecuted for environmental war crimes? And is there any work for legal framework for this?
Yes, sure. It's our top priority. We try to estimate the damages, to document the damages, and to prepare the legal basis for the future courts cases in international courts. We work together with General Prosecutor Office. We work together with international damages registry. Yes, how it's called, Shane? International реєстр, як називається цей register. And we are involving a lot of international organizations like UNEP, like UNDP, like UNICEF, UNICE, and OECD. And we started the process together with different countries, partners. We started the process of, we try to improve the methodologies, how we calculate the damages, how we prepare the cases for the international court, because we understand that situation in Ukraine, situation with Russia is killing the nature in Ukraine, and we need to fix all of these crimes, and we need to use it for the prevention in the future, the situation like we have in Ukraine. Because as I mentioned before, it's terrible during the 21st century to have the destruction and damages of natural resources, ecosystems, to fire the forests. We have a lot of natural catastrophes and natural accident, yes, but during the war, it's people who do it, and we need to prevent. We have we have climate change we need to fight. We have the some natural changes we need to fight, and we need to stop. And here we, by our own hands, ruin the ecosystems and natural, etc. But we will try to answer maybe on email or
to follow all the questions you have, so you send it to us, continue to communicate with you.
Please.
Bob Berwin with Inside Climate News. Were some of these acts of ecocidal destruction deliberate in addition to the incidental damage of fighting a war? Did, for example, with the amount of forest burned, did Russia actually go out and deliberately attack the environment, so to say, or is it all just a byproduct of the conflict, the fighting, the aggression?
It's because of military actions, but it's Russia started these military actions. It's Russia started this aggression and this invasion, and it's Russia who uses missiles, drones, because of these missiles and drones, because of these explosions, we have additional ecocides, damages of nature, damages of ecosystems. And I don't know, it's like, it's on purpose or not, but it's Russia started this war, and it's Russia who uses military weapons, etc., etc. Because of this war, we have really a lot of destructions, but we have very big mission now to restore the Ukrainian nature and to give over for join all international efforts and prevent the situation. Country in the world will feel what we feel now in Ukraine. Thank you, colleagues.